Hello.
Hello.
Why do we say hello? I don't understand that.
How else would we
Because
start
we've been here for like an hour.
We can't tell people that.
I have never seen any clips from Love Island in my whole life. Apart from the one when he goes, I can't do it. She goes, you can. Have you seen that one?
It's just, for me, I can't do it.
You can! You can do it, you can!
Today, we're going to have a session.
We're going to have a sesh.
We're going to have a sesh where we
Q&A.
work each other out. Not for the purpose of ourselves, for the purposes of you.
Are you ready? Do you remember what the first question was?
I do.
Go for it.
Who are you, Kez? What do you do?
My name is Kez. My day job is a producer. I say Kez, I introduce myself as Kez because my full name just never gets pronounced right. And I just feel like Kez is a little bit easier, you know, a little bit more digestible.
What's the pronunciation?
Kerena.
I thought your name was Kerena, and then you softly went into the kitchen.
I remember
And
this.
I think a couple of staff members were in there. And you went, actually, my name's Kerena.
And it's not even Kerena, it's Kerena.
There you go.
That.
I'm Marcus Flemmings. I work at a company called BAME Agency. You may have heard of it. If you haven't, jump on Google and have a little look. Prior to that, I actually worked in finance. And then prior to that, I studied film and I wanted to be a director. And then in 2016, I made my first ever film. And I am now a director of films.
Incredible.
Thank you.
It's amazing that you've come full circle as well. You started out in filmmaking, went to finance, and then found yourself back in what you wanted to do before anyway.
Yeah, I mean, for a while there, I kind of got lost. When I woke up one day, I was like, I'm not really happy. I was 23, 24.
Right.
I was like, some things need to change immediately, and one of them needs to go.
Mm-hmm.
She went first. Job went next. And then how did we start this podcast?
We started this podcast, so how long have we known each other now? Maybe
We've known each
4
other
years?
for 4 years.
4 years. We were chatting, and then I just in passing was like, oh, we should start a podcast. Like, it was good stuff that we were talking about. And then I was in the agency one day, and Marcus was like, okay, let's start this podcast. And we kind of hit the ground running from there. I was just going to say, we had an idea of what we wanted Sensational to be.
Mm-hmm.
But I think in that first episode, we were just kind of testing the waters. And since then, we have been testing the waters. Like you said earlier, we've been throwing things to the wall and seeing what sticks.
So yeah, I think it's going really well. I believe we've had a huge impact in terms of talking to models, maybe talking to them about stuff they've never spoken about before.
Yeah, very true.
But I feel this season, which is season 2, I feel like we've shifted a little bit towards the idea of talking to each other.
Yes,
And
yeah, absolutely.
discussing topical things, discussing things that potentially other people don't want to discuss or potentially wouldn't discuss because our mindsets are very different. Look at this place. ID Studio, shout out.
Represent.
Oh yeah, represent.
What is your favourite film?
My favourite film is Wizard of Oz. It was just magical. I used to love how it would go from black and white to colour, the magical themes. Dorothy was amazing. The Lion was amazing.
The Tin Man.
The Tin Man. Great.
Scarecrow.
Bit of oil. Scarecrow. The stuff coming out of him. So yeah, what about you? What's your favourite film?
Dreamgirls.
Cool.
Yeah. You ask me why. I just loved it. It was everything I loved as a kid and love now. Like the music, the costumes, you know, the story.
Sorry to interrupt you because you were doing a great job there, but you didn't mention Eddie Murphy.
Eddie Murphy, of course.
Actually, he should have won an Oscar that year. He was nominated for Best Supporting Actor. But prior to that, I think he had another film that came out. It tanked. And
Was it not good?
Yeah, it's one of the worst films ever. And that took his Oscar away from him.
If you could do anything unrelated to your role,
Sure.
what would it be?
If I were to do anything unrelated to this role, I would be a porn star.
Tell me why.
I'm going to answer that again. If I would do anything unrelated to this role, I'd be an astronaut.
Nice. Okay.
Yes.
Love that. I would probably be either a dancer or something in musical theatre, something really dramatic and flamboyant and out there.
Nice.
I think because I'm just
Just
at home.
Being on video initially was daunting for both of us.
Yes, not something either one of us have been comfortable with.
Not at all. And then when you're on video, you have no choice. You're hearing your voice, you're seeing your face. And after a while, you just like, whatever.
You just switch off from it.
Yeah, you're like, whatever. I think if you want to do anything in life, I think you need to practice and keep doing it over and over again. You're never going to be a genius from the outset. So practice makes perfect. Consistency is the key. And the more you do something, the better you're going to be at it.
What has been your favourite episode of the podcast so far? Ooh.
So my favourite episode we've done so far is actually our Jonah Hill episode that we did. I think that's the most structured we've had. And
structure being the key word.
Structure being the key word, but there was chaos within that, and I think that's kind of what we're looking for.
That's what we do. I think my favourite episode, and I know I kind of contradicted myself, but our first episode, I really enjoyed that. Just listening to it. As a first episode of a podcast series, we got to see, you know, our chemistry, and that was the first ever recording we'd ever done.
Yes.
And it was just like really nice to hear that and hear that the chemistry there hasn't changed.
Yeah. Do you think that the chemistry we had offset, did you think it was going to work like that on set?
I had no expectations. I genuinely didn't know what to think in terms of how this was going to come to fruition.
I didn't have any doubt. I thought we're going to make this work. So I just knew that we're both very good listeners, and I thought we'd be able to just pull this off. I think we're very good at listening to each other. We take the piss out of each other, but it's never to the point of... I know one time actually I took the piss out of you too far.
Did you?
And you got really... Because basically I think it was during the pandemic, and your mum started liking loads of BAME stuff on Instagram, and then I started liking loads of your mum stuff from the BAME account.
But can we just note?
Go for it.
I worked for BAME agency. Where was my follow on social media? Yeah, he was quick to follow my mother and like all of her posts.
And then what pissed
that
you off
was
what
my.
I was doing? So, Kez, how would you like to close this episode?
I'm not too sure. Do we just go with a like, subscribe, goodbye?
That sounds wonderful.
Okay, let's do it. You go first.
Like,
Subscribe,
and
goodbye.